Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of Chalk Talk here on the DK Pittsburgh Sports Steelers YouTube channel, because we are beginning, I don't know how many parts this is going to be, but a multi-part series on that game, the 299 rushing yards against in the Steelers' wildcard loss to the Ravens. And I can tell you right now, I've already kind of gone through some of this, and it's rough, man. It is so bad. And the reason why I decided to split this up is just because of how bad it is that it needs to be in multiple parts. So this first video on it is just the first series. This is just the Ravens. For the Steelers got the ball first. They punted. Ravens get the ball on their own 5-yard line. They marched down the field, 13 plays, 95 yards in 7 minutes, 13 seconds. 9 carries on this. So 9 of those 13 plays were runs for 68 yards, leading to eventually a touchdown pass from Lamar Jackson to Rashad Bateman from 15 yards out. Not great, obviously. So we're going to look at all 9 runs. Literally, we're just going to look at all of them. This is the first run, ball on the 5-yard line. They bring man in motion. They're kind of running this split zone where they're showing that they're going to be doing this wide zone type run. And what they're really doing is they're going to bring this guy over to block the edge, and then Henry's going to cut this back. So this is kind of like a wind back counter almost. But I do think he has the option. Henry has the option here. If this opens up to hit that hole, he doesn't. He sees it closed off. He knows he can cut back because we have this block right here. And plus the fullback is coming up to take the linebacker. The good thing is here is that Patrick Queen goes unblocked here. He kind of stays sitting back in this area here, and he's reading the running back, and he ends up kind of crashing down over here. You can see he gets there. Roberts does a good job of getting off of his block. Watt does a good job of getting off his block. I mean, look at what Watt does. Whoop! That's TJ Watt for you. But Queen and Roberts both do a good job. Keep Derrick Henry to 3 yards. All right, that's a good start, right? All right. 3-yard gain. You keep Derrick Henry to 3 yards a carry for a game. You'll be happy. Next run here. This is the first of many times, or at least several times, just on this series alone, in which they are running this read option. So let it play just a little bit, and you can see Lamar keeps it. He makes a man miss. He gets upfield. Now, I think he only gets 4 yards here. I think they crash on him and hold him to 4 yards, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is 3rd and 2. So that first run was 3 yards. 2nd and 7 turned into 2nd and 11 because they had a false start. And then on 2nd and 11, Lamar Jackson completed a pass to Isaiah Likely for 9 yards. So this was 3rd and 2 on the 13. And I want to go kind of fast forward and show you here. Actually, no, I didn't get the end zone view on this. So pretty much what the quarterback is reading here on a read option is he is reading this guy right here. He is reading this edge rusher. If he crashes in, he's going to keep it, and then he's going to run. If this edge rusher kind of sits here and contains the edge, he will hand the ball off, and then the runner will, obviously take the football and run that up, and they're just running typical inside zone at that point because you see the center. Inside zone is a good indication here because the center will try to double team this with the guard, and then he'll work his way up to get to the running back, and then everybody else at zone blocking. And so that's what it would be. But you see Highsmith, he does not contain the edge here. He doesn't sit here and kind of say, you're not coming out here. He crashes in hard on the runner, Lamar reads it, keeps it. And this is what the Steelers did. So you're asking, okay, why would you let Lamar Jackson run? This is what the Steelers did against the Ravens at home earlier in the season. When they beat the Ravens at home, this is what they did. And why do that? Well, look at Minkah Fitzpatrick. He starts off here on the 26-yard line. And by the time, he's reading this all the way. As soon as he sees this, he is reading this all the way. He is crashing down, and he's right there. The reason why the Steelers did this was, number one, everybody else would seal off the edge. When the Ravens were playing other teams prior to that game in Pittsburgh, so a little bit of background here before we go on. The reason why it threw the Ravens for a loop is because everybody would obviously seal off the edge and make Lamar hand the ball to the running back, whether it was Derrick Henry or Hill, or it didn't matter who the runner was. They weren't gonna let Lamar beat them with his legs. They were gonna trust their interior to stop Derrick Henry. The Steelers went about it another way. They were like, we're not gonna let Derrick Henry beat us, and we're gonna trust the speed of our guys. Patrick Queen is fast. Minkah Fitzpatrick is fast. We got some speed on the back end, both the second and third levels, that he can keep this. And look, he's not even to the line. He's getting to the line of scrimmage there, and Minkah's there. Now, Minkah doesn't make the tackle. Lamar makes him miss. He gets upfield, and he converts the first down because it's 3rd and 2. But still, you hold him to a 4-yard gain, and if you hold Lamar Jackson to 4-yard gains all day, that's a win. You got to do better on first down and second down and make the Ravens play more of a drop-back passing game. That obviously didn't happen here. But the Ravens adjusted. They not only adjusted when they played on the road later in the season during that 3 games in 11 days, but they did the same thing in this game. They were like, fine, if you're not going to contain the edge, if you're going to crash down the running back every single time, we're going to let Lamar keep it. And things change from the regular season to the playoffs. Maybe they do that. Maybe they're not okay with Lamar running it a whole bunch in the regular season because they don't want Lamar to get injured. They need Lamar for a playoff run. Well, once you're in the playoffs, and here we are in the playoffs. Once you're in the playoffs, everything changes. It's win or go home. Doesn't matter if it's the wild card round or the Super Bowl or any of the games in between. It's win or go home. You have to pull out all the stops. And you have to not live in your fears that your guy is going to get injured. So the Ravens are like, screw it. If you're not going to stop Lamar, if you're going to let Lamar run, then we're going to let Lamar run. So that's what they did. That's why they kept running this read option. Now they get 4 yards here, but that moves the chains. Very next play. Ravens try this little jet motion here. They try to do this play action. And Cam Hayward just wins, man. He just wins. The season he had at 35 years old, that forces Lamar to not be able to see this. This is open right here. Lamar should see that. Maybe he sees cover 3, and he's thinking, now granted, as soon as he rolls out, he's got a guy right there, so he's got to adjust. But maybe he's trying to find this. He should hopefully see that. He doesn't. And so he ends up getting, and then Benton gets there, Hayward gets there, and Lamar, just because he's Lamar and can move around, he gets a yard. All right. That's a win. 2nd and 9. This is what you want to do. You want to make the Ravens play 2nd and long, 3rd and long as often as you can. Don't let them be ahead of schedule. Don't let them continue to have 2nd and medium or 2nd and short or 3rd and short. You got to make them have 2nd and long, 3rd and long. So 2nd and 9 here, this is a brilliant play call. Not only do they exploit the same thing, but they throw a nice little wrinkle in. Everybody remember the home game? This is Peyton Wilson. This is Hill. That's who Wilson was on. They were like, we're going to trust Wilson's speed to keep up with this guy right there. So they move him in motion, Wilson's going with him. But he stops. And right when the ball snapped, he sits, and now they're running read option. But you're going to see Wilson, he's going to continue to follow the running back. That's his guy, right? That's my guy. Well, now look at this. The edge rusher crashes down. Lamar's got all this room. He runs up. And he gets 8 yards on 2nd and 9. So 2nd and 9 just turned into 3rd and 1, just like that. Watch Wilson here. He is on the hill like glue. He's on. He sees, oh. And so now the ball snapped. Now they're just running straight up read option. Look at Lamar's eyes. He's looking straight at TJ Watt. That's the edge rusher. If he stays here, stays put, contains the edge, he's going to hand this off, and then it's going to be Hill, which Queen is being unblocked right now. Wilson would be coming crashing back into this, so that wouldn't work, but Watt completely crashes down on Hill. Jackson keeps this, and now because Wilson's glued onto Hill, Jackson's got this free access right there. I mean, just look at that grass. You never want to give Lamar Jackson that. All right. So 2nd and 9 just turned into 3rd and 1. So on 3rd and 1, I'm going to give you a big hint of what they're going to run here. Big hint. Whoop. And then Lamar's Lamar. He turns 3rd and 1 into 1st and 10 after a 5-yard gain. I mean, come on, man. It gets to be a little ridiculous. You know, at some point you would think, okay, you know, I understand it's the first series, but this is the Ravens. This is their first. The one thing you have to understand with football games, the first series is your game plan for the game. This is like whenever an offensive coordinator is building his play sheet for the week, there is a section of that play sheet, and every offensive coordinator is different, and I would think Todd Monken has his own way of doing it for the Ravens. Every offensive coordinator typically has a section of that play sheet that is just for the first series alone, and that is your opening script. That is all the week's work of prepping for the opponent, knowing their strengths, knowing their weaknesses, their tendencies, and now we're going to attack it properly with this script, whether it's 8 plays, 10 plays, whatever they have dialed up. This series is their opening script, and they execute it to a T. They're thinking, okay, if we're on 1st and 10, or if we're on 3rd and short, this is the play we're going to run. And look how many of them are a variation of this read option where they are expecting the edge rusher to come down and crash onto the running back. And even when the linebacker is maintaining his gap, he ends up getting blocked up. I mean, it's just, it's rough. This is being outcoached. This is being out-schemed. And I understand the Tomlin hate comments are going to fly with this video. I get it. This was not a well-coached game whatsoever. They got out-schemed in this one. There's no doubt about that. Next play here, next run at least. We got 1st and 10. They're running a jet motion. And look what they're doing again. Ends up being 4 yards. Just because, and the thing is that, this right here, you get a win right off the bat with Larry Ogunjobi. He wins his rep right there. He gets on the other side, and the edge rusher is crashing down. Oh, by the way, really should highlight this too. Notice who is on the field for the Steelers. You got Herbig, Loudermilk, Adams, Ogunjobi, Moon. So no Highsmith, no Watt, no Hayward. Now, that's typical rotation, but here we are. We're barely into the first series here. I mean, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the 8th play of the series. Those guys need a breather at this point. I mean, Watt, Hayward, Highsmith, they can't be out there for 8, 9, 10 plays in a row. You just can't, especially if you're getting run on. So that you have to sub them out. And then, well, we're just going to run the same thing against your other guys. Now, granted, this probably should have been holding right here. That's a miss. I mean, come on, you can see the hook underneath, everything. That should be holding. I mean, what's the ref looking at? Seriously, what are you looking at, dude? I'm not making excuses. This is the last game to make excuses for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But come on. I mean, he's lost right there. What do guys do when they lose? They hold. I mean, come on. You got multiple times of Ogunjobi trying to get loose. That's a massive hold. Terrible. Look, Deshaun Elliott here throws him out of bounds. Likely did not like that very much. All right. So, 2nd and 6. On 2nd and 6, they threw to Lamar threw to Mark Andrews for 7 yards, moved the chains. So now it is 1st and 10 on the Baltimore 42. We're barely, seriously, 10th play of the drive coming up. Well, guess what they run here? No, I'm just kidding. Now, this time they actually run it with Henry, and they're running a variation of wide zone here. You can definitely see wide zone. Brilliant stuff here. The motion here. If you're in man coverage, which the Steelers are here, Sutton runs with him. You are taking a player out of the direction that you are running the football. So, Ravens are running wide zone. He's going to try to climb. Actually, no. How's this end up getting blocked up? That would normally be it. These two are going to double team here. 77 is going to double. Actually, hold on. Man, that was fun. Usually try to double team and then get up to the linebacker. You're going to have this. Primary read is still going to be right here for the Ravens. If it's not there, you just read defender to defender. And for those who watched wide zone, my breakdown on wide zone. So outside leverage here, he's not running there. This is pretty well locked up, but the further it goes, there's not really much of a hole there. That's kind of tight. This hole is wide open. And so Henry runs through it, gets 12 yards, easy peasy. Again, look who's on the field. I mean, you got Herbig, not as good of a run defender as Highsmith. You got Adams, Ogunjobi, Moon. They're in a nickel defense because of the personnel that the Ravens are in. Queen is the one here that I'm kind of curious on because, number one, I know he was horribly sick for this game. I can attest to that in person. I remember I'm a reporter first. I was at the game. I covered the game. I was in the locker room after the game. He was the most sick I've ever witnessed a player playing a game. Not making excuses for the guy. That's stating a fact. He was dog sick. And you can kind of just through this little like body language here. I'm wondering here, based off of what he and Wilson both do, because it's almost like Queen is already moving in this direction, expecting Lamar to keep it. Because at first, like, you just watch it like in regular motion, like right here. It's like you're just allowing the lineman to easily get over here, get his reach block, and open this lane. Queen's not doing that. He's not purposely taking himself out of a gap. So when you look at this closely, this almost looks like, because this is right when Lamar would normally be keeping the ball, it almost looks like he's anticipating Lamar to keep it. And by the time he realizes that Lamar doesn't have it, it's way too late. And now this hole is wide open. So that's another thing that this does, that like a downfall to the read option thing is that, remember, now earlier in the game, on that first time that we saw Lamar run the read option, Minkah was the one that crashed down. But in the home game, and maybe I should have put it as part of this all 22 package. In the first game, Queen was also part of the team in the back end on the second level and third level that would take care of Lamar if they ran the read option to go over there, trusting the speed that they have. And so watching Queen and the way he is anticipating this, it's almost like he has to go over this way in case Lamar keeps, because they want the edge rusher crashing down. So somebody's got to go over here. Somebody has to. And that's why it almost looks like Queen is anticipating just in case Lamar keeps it. But by that point, it's way too late. The cutback lane opens up huge for Henry, and it's just easy 12 yards. And there's just no way Queen could recover. Again, I'm not making excuses for Queen, but that is the way the Steelers wanted to defend it. Instead of having the edge rusher contain the edge against the read option, and I know this for a fact, this is not me guessing. I talked with the players. Every single player said we were coached to go crash on the running back. This is what they were coached to do. This was the game plan. No guessing here. And when you have that situation, you have to figure out a way to defend Lamar. You can't just leave him be. They were going to trust the speed on the second level and third level. Patrick Queen's fast. Minkah Fitzpatrick's fast. Like, they're going to trust those guys to try to get Lamar. But that takes away the ability to defend actual running plays like wide zone. What if he actually does hand it off? You need linebackers to go with the flow. If you don't, that kind of stuff happens. If Queen... Instead, if he's not trying to defend Lamar, if the edge just kind of stays here and Queen can stay with the flow here, he can read this. I mean, imagine if he stays right there. Because what this lineman wants to do is he wants to get on this side and wall him off. That's what he wants to do. Because when remember what we've talked about, anytime you're running outside zone or wide zone, you want to divide the offensive line, where these guys are blocking in this direction and then these guys are trying to wall off in this direction somehow so that you can open up this cutback lane. But if Queen continues to stay right there, you are forcing the guard to have to go over more. This muddies this hole up. Instead, if you're trusting him to get over here, you take him out of the play, you open that hole up. It's way too easy. Way too easy. Here, man, direct snap. Steelers just get completely bit on this. 5-man front. You got Highsmith, you got Hayward, Adams, Ogunjobi, Watt. You got all your guys back in except for Benton again. They're doing this end around thing, and all the linebackers go this way. They go that way. You get Elliott going this way because of it. And you've literally got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Ravens versus, let me count Steelers here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's bad. You wonder why Henry had that kind of a run? That's why. And then, oh, gosh. Say a prayer for Minkah. Oh. I don't even need to break down anything on that one. All the linebackers. this way, this way. Elliott goes this way. Everybody goes that way. And then that leaves literally 6-on-4 right there. It's too easy. Too easy. This right here is what the Steelers wanted to try to do pretty much all game when they were running this. They run Elliott here on a run blitz of some kind that opens up. Now, the thing is that like Lamar probably should have kept this, but you see KZ. He's going to be the one crashing down. They're going to rely on the safeties to crash down and keep Lamar. Lamar probably should have kept this because the edge is definitely crashing down, but Watt does do a little hezzy here. Watt does a little... you have to watch it, actually. Let me play it in regular motion. It's that little... and then he just goes. Like he's doing this, and then, oh, I'm going to go. And maybe that's what Lamar saw and he second-guessed, but he probably should have kept this because Cam Hayward just kills 65. I love watching Cam play, dude. Enjoy it, man. Enjoy it. Cam kills 65. Watt speed gets back there. Highsmith gets off his block. Peyton Wilson does a great job of, using his speed to get to the outside, and they keep Hill, and then it's a minus 3. Next play was the touchdown pass to Rashad Bateman, and no, I didn't include any of the passing plays because we're not looking at the passing plays. But you can see, first series, the Ravens straight up out-schemed. They knew exactly what the Steelers were going to be doing because they'd already seen it, right? I mean, that's the part of playing your division rival. You know, when it happens the first game, you're like, whoa, that they took us by surprise, and the Steelers won that game. But then you're like, okay, well, if they're going to do it again, we're going to be ready for it. We're going to let Lamar run it all the time. And then when Lamar does hand it off, when we don't actually run a read option, we run like that wide zone run to Derrick Henry that we saw where that hole opened up. If you're expecting the linebackers to not actually play and defend wide zone because they have to keep track of Lamar, it's not smart defense. It's not. And the Ravens exploited it. It worked in the first game. So I shouldn't say it's not smart defense. It worked in the first game. But once the Ravens figured it out, you have to adjust. You can't keep doing the same thing. You have to adjust from the first time you play them to the second time you play them, and this is the third matchup. So it didn't work whenever you tried to play them a few weeks prior in the regular season when you had a chance to win the division. Why keep trying to do it now? I don't know. That part I don't know. But anyway, we're going to continue to go through this game piece by piece, try to figure out everything that happened. But this first series, you can see Ravens they had a game plan, they had an opening script, and it was perfect. Perfect. It really was. Hats off to Todd Monken, offensive coordinator for the Ravens. Brilliantly done. Knew exactly what the Steelers were going to be doing, diagnosed it perfectly, and they exploited it. 9 carries for 68 yards on the first series as part of a 13-play drive that went 95 yards, ended up with a touchdown. So we'll be back on Monday. Enjoy the weekend. We'll continue to dive into this game. Pray for me. Catch you guys on the Football Flip. See you later.